Hey everybody, welcome back to Gem Mint Collectibles. I'm your host Gem Mint. We're here with a brand new segment called Recent Reads. Today we're going to focus on one of my more recent reads, which is Hellboy by Mignola. I know I do a lot of haul videos, collection videos, so I do want to talk about the stuff that I actually read, because I do read books. I don't think I'm going to go into spoiler territory because, especially with a book like Hellboy, a lot of people haven't read it, and I don't want to discourage them from going ahead and giving it a shot because it's a great read. I'll talk about some of the reasons why. The full story is collected in these 7 library editions, volumes 1 through 6, and then Hellboy in Hell. So, kind of what this first one looks like on the front. Before I even get into this, I'm still kind of getting over this cold. I don't think a lot of casual readers know who Hellboy is, or the only thing they know about Hellboy is from the movies, or from the movie, I should say, because I don't think too many people really caught the second one. But I just want to say that the book doesn't really play out anything like the way the movie does. The movie kind of portrays him as like a big adolescent, a big teenager. But in the books, yeah, it doesn't really play out like that. There's not a lot of headquarters scenes with the BPRD, so that was more in the movie. Hellboy is more like the issue opens up that you see like an eerie looking place. Hellboy shows up. There's some paranormal shit going on. He finds out what it really is. He fights him and then he wins. So that's kind of like the plot for most of these issues. But there's an ongoing story with Hellboy and what his destiny is and what he really is supposed to be doing on Earth. If you have seen the movie, the right hand of Doom, which is this big gauntlet that he is born with, is like the key to Apocalypse. So he is destined to be like the beast that ends it all, but he doesn't want to be that. He doesn't want to be anything except for what he wants to be. So that's pretty cool. So one of the main reasons why Hellboy is so popular is because Mike Mignola's art. So his art style is very what do you call it? 4-color based. Like he doesn't use a lot of color. Like in this panel, what do you got? Black, beige, and red. In this panel, you got white, blue, and black. Like he has a very, I don't know what the term is. And he's got a very unique style. He uses a lot of shadow, which is really good, man. It conveys a lot of emotion. It sets the mood. So the funny part, so I bought these Hellboy books. Not really a blind buy. I mean, everybody in the Omnibus group loves Hellboy. They rant and rave about it. I figured, shit, it can't be that bad, right? I read the first issue sometime last year, and the movie definitely borrowed heavily from the first issue. The origin of Hellboy, the Ape Sapien, his appearance, the frog kind of monster that he fights. Here's a good shot of it right here. So that stuff, the movie was heavily influenced by. So I stopped reading after that first issue. I was like, here we go. Gonna read this whole movie plot play out. So it wasn't until later on this year, that I went back and I read issue 1 over and burned through all these library editions. I was like, man, I was really missing out. He's done a good example of just Mignola's art style, man. So this book has 2 stories, Seed of Destruction and Wake the Devil. They're split up in like a few chapters each. I want to say 4 or 5 chapters in each. But the thing that the movie doesn't really show in Hellboy is a lot of the paranormal type of activity. I think they do a little bit, but basically Hellboy will be in a bar. He'll be talking to like these three guys, and even you as the reader, you kind of know something's up. You're like, all right, what's this gonna be? And then one panel will just show that he's talking to like four skeletons, and then boom, another panel is he's talking, shoots back, and he's talking to four people. So he talks to ghosts, and they tell him stuff. They give him a heads up. It's kind of cool. Volume 2. So the two main stories are the Chain Coffin and the Right Hand of Doom, but this is where we're introduced to a lot of little short stories from Hellboy. So, for example, the first short story is called Pancakes, right? So basically, it's literally a 2-page story where Hellboy, as a little boy, he's about to eat pancakes, like, fucking regular pancakes. So they're telling him, hey, it's going to be really good, it's going to be great, you're going to love them. He's like, man, it looks nasty. And then demons in hell are watching him, and they're like, yo, he better not try the pancakes. If he tries those pancakes, we're never going to get him to join us. And then, he eats the pancakes, and he loves it, and they all are like, yeah. Oh, no, my bad. He says he loves it, and all the demons are like, no, whatever. Anyway, it was a funny, cute little fucking story. But it's basically saying, like, that earthly pleasure, hell, they have no chance now. He's gone with the mortals, right? So, yeah, a lot of short stories in this one. I mean, you got Pancakes, you got Nature of the Beast, King Void, The Corpse. The Corpse is often regarded as one of the more popular stories. I think he's dragging the corpse on his body, and he's got to hit these 3 different locations. The Baba Yaga, that ends up being an important story overall. So this is my first, comic review, and it's a lot of material. I don't know, and I just read them. So if you ask me what volume was this story, and I'm not going to remember. I just fucking burned through all these things, But there's, a lot of these panels where it just shows, a solitary statue, and it just sets the mood, man. It's kind of, just so eerie how they do it, how Mike does it. I think when we get to that 4th volume, he stops doing the art for a little while. And I think, some people don't like it, but I enjoyed it. So here he is with the corpse on his back, and he has to, do these 3 tasks. Kind of like a video game plot, Everything's in 3s. So, along the way, these demons and these creatures that he's fighting, they always tease him, that they know what he's supposed to be, and they, like I said, they kind of tease him in that sense, but he usually just hits him with a right hook and keeps it moving. And the thing is, I don't think it's that he wants to be bad or good. He just doesn't want to have his destiny be predetermined. You know what I'm saying? He wants it to be his choice. Anyway, so I'm reading the forwards and the afterwards. Mike was not really too happy in the original drawings that he felt like the arm wasn't big enough. So the arm starts getting bigger as the issues go on. He's always falling too. I noticed that. He's always falling, usually with the person he's fighting. He's always fighting some paranormal things, this is a werewolf. This becomes important later on. See, I don't want to give spoilers, though, You guys are going to have to give me feedback on what kind of stuff you want to see. So, if you saw the movie, he's, infatuated with Liz. It's a whole big thing. He's jealous of the new guy on the team. But that doesn't happen at all in here. He's just kind of like a loner. He's with the BPRD. I forget what book, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but he ends up, it's not a big deal. He ends up quitting the BPRD and kind of goes on this soul-searching mission, and he gets in all kind of trouble there. So here's kind of like if you see in the movie where he actually has the horns and he has his crown, which actually, so we got that on the sideshow statue here. There you go. So that's kind of a panel where sideshow used that idea, which was great. So he really just breaks off his horns. He doesn't want to be the beast of the apocalypse. I forget what they call him. I don't think that's what it was. So this guy, I forget the name of the guy, man, who is the one who summoned him from hell as a baby. He gets killed, and then he taunts him throughout this whole fucking shit. All right, anyway, so that's volume 2. Volume 3 has the Conqueror Worm and Strange Places, but I believe it also has side stories as well. Let me see. Short stories, I should say. I love to read, man. I burned through this shit. But I don't know, you know, from these shots, if you could tell his art style, just very few colors he uses, a lot of blacks, a lot of shadows. So yeah, this goes to chapter 1. It's like in some World War II shit with very blue hues to it. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about here? So, the Conqueror Worm, I remember, was a very good story, right? So, basically, he, I don't know how he gets these missions. I'm not sure if he got it from the BPRD. I think he did, because I think he was with Liz in this issue. They have to go investigate some shit, you know what I mean? So they go to investigate it, and one of the characters that we meet in the other books tags along. Is this where he's talking to Ghost? Oh, he has to fight some cyborg fucking monkey. Anyway. Cool stuff, man. I definitely recommend to read it. I'm not really familiar with any other formats. I only know about the library editions. I like reading the forewords and the afterwards because it lets you know where the artist and the writer, where he was, where his mindset was during this. You know, he wrote this story over a long period of time. I think there was like a 5-year break between the volume 6 and the Hellboy in Hell. The Conqueror Worm ends up being some big ass worm. I forget how they kill him. Anyway, I don't really want to spoil it anyway. So what else about this one? The Third Wish. Okay, so yeah, this gets into some side stories, I believe. Anyway, he goes. It's hard to explain, man. You know, and I don't really want to give too much away. But that's enough of that one. So we'll move on to the 4th one. That's when he starts to help him with the book. He allows another artist to take over the duties, and he continues to write. So let's look at that. Get a drink of water. So Hellboy Volume 4. The stories are The Crooked Man and the Troll Witch, Mike Mignola, and Richard Corbin, and others. So here's the front of it. You can tell right away the art is very different. So here we go. So he uses a lot more colors. I kind of like the way he portrays Hellboy. I mean, not as good as Mike's, but he uses more detail where Mike uses more shadows. I'm trying to remember what happened in this shit. So I don't know about you guys, but me, when I read a lot, I enjoy it while I'm reading it. But if you ask me to explain everything of what just happened to you, I don't know if I could do it, man. Especially because I read all these, it had to be about a month ago. I've been reading Sandman. Sandman, I think I have a little bit more, I can recall a little bit more. Yeah, I remember this shit. Oh, with this guy. So there was a lot of paranormal shit. The Vampire of Prague. So I'm trying to remember if that's the storyline. No, he's not in hell yet, so that's not. That comes back later. The Vampire of Prague. It looks like Mike, yeah, he came back towards the end of the book. What story was this? Dr. Karp's experiment. So this one doesn't have like a table of context like the other one did to tell you what are the names of the short stories, unless I missed it. Yeah, but the plot's basically the same. Like I said, some shit's going on. They send in Hellboy to check it out. 9 times out of 10, the one causing all the shit knows who Hellboy is aware of Hellboy, and taunts him about who he's supposed to be, and then he whoops his ass. Yeah, this one was similar to the Corpse, where he kind of travels along and he ends up fighting these giants and puts them in a bag, I remember, to fight the big bad guy at the end. Son of a... That's one of his main things. Son of a... Alright, cool. Anyway, so Volume 4. Volume 5 also has other contributing artists. This one's a bigger one, man. The storylines here, which are the main stories? Darkness Calls and The Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt, I remember being important. I think that's when they're hunting down Hellboy, if I recall. So we still have some other artists assisting. So the thing about Hellboy that the movies didn't really pick up was its tone, right? The tone with the type of colors that Mignola uses, that creates that certain mood. I think it's hard to put it into a movie. It would have been dope as like an animation. Like if I think about the HBO Spawn animation, Hellboy would have been good in that kind of a style. So this isn't Mike, but it's good stuff here. Kind of reminded me of the God of War games a little bit. Especially how he's always fighting these huge monsters in these like kind of godlike places. I say godlike, but you know, demon-like places. He's fighting this big ass worm type dude. Alright, here we go. And then this gets into the Wild Hunt, I believe. Now, what was the Wild Hunt all about? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, I don't want to keep you guys here watching me flip through the book too long. Anyway, overall, I loved Hellboy. I loved the art. I loved the story. I loved the character. He wasn't a big goof like in the movie. So the movie kind of really didn't do him justice if I think about it. The whole Wild Hunt, it basically tries to set up Hellboy's downfall. That's what I remember. These demons, and then they start telling him about his true heritage, who his dad was, who his mother was. Has a lot to do with hell, who should be ruling over hell. The devil has been asleep, I forget for how long, and then somebody kills the devil, and you know, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it gets really good, man. So just give you a couple more pages of this. We'll move on to the next books. Try not to drag this out too long. Moving forward, when I'm reading these books, I might start taking little notes and such, like knowing that I'm going to do a video for it. I was reading this just for me, you know, just for fun. Maybe going forward, I'll do that so that I have some good cliff notes or something. Anyway, Hellboy Volume 6 has The Storm and the Fury and The Bride of Hell. So this is Mike has some assistance on the art here as well. Duncan Fred, yeah, same guy. Yeah, Duncan Fagredo with some others. So it's just moving the Hellboy story forward more. Is he dead yet? So Hellboy, you know, he ends up going to hell. Obviously, I mean, you can tell by the name of the last library edition, Hellboy in Hell, right? So he's kind of chilling down there, man. I mean, there's no devil. Everything's kind of just chill. But I forget what makes him kind of carry out his quest. But he does. Some good fight scenes. So there's a lot of diehard Hellboy fans, man. You can't go off the movie. There's a reason why they made it into a movie, but that doesn't mean that the movie was a great representation of the character, right? Alright, so the last library edition, Hellboy in Hell, it actually was just recently released to complete the series. Mike Mignola did all the artwork. He wrote it. I kind of remember feeling like it got rushed a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say rushed because it took so long for this book to come out. But I think he even said himself in one of the afterwords or something that, you know, he was further along in the story than he thought he was, and then he just had to end it, man. So this is Hellboy in Hell. He gets killed. He goes to hell and confronts the shit about it, like I said, his heritage, who he is, the devil. There's a big showdown at the end. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's a dope book, man. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it. The next video I'm going to do for my recent reads is going to be Sandman. I read the 5 Absolute editions, and the 5th one is not really part of the main storyline. I am reading the Death Absolute edition. I don't know if I'm going to wait till I'm done reading that until I do another one of these. But Hellboy is a cool, epic story. I do recommend it. I did like reading it. Hopefully I don't have to do any videos where I didn't like reading it. But any questions in the comments, please hit me up. Or stuff that you want to point out that'll help jog my memory on shit. Because I do be forgetting. Anyway, so let's wrap it up. Here he goes. Here he is talking skeletons. Yeah, Hellboy will be fighting somebody, and then like he'll look in the corner and there's a skeleton, and the skeleton's like, "Yo, what up?" Like shit like that, man. So anyway, no spoilers. I hope I didn't ruin it for you. I don't think I did. I think if anything, I probably sold a few. You guys are gonna hit me in the comments saying, "Yo, I just bought 7 fucking library editions." But the Hellboy premium format statue, I might do a review right now for it, man. Just since I got it out here and on the Lazy Susan, right? All right, y'all. Thanks for checking me out. It was a pleasure as always. Stay tuned for more content, better videos, better production quality. We're getting there, man. Thanks. Peace.